Welcome back to the Park Kids to Park Dads podcast. I'm Adam, this is my brother Mitch,
Hey, everyone.
and we have made it to lucky number 10 as far as episodes go. So, hooray,
Yeah.
we did it.
Thanks for all your support so far. We've seen our views kind of steadily increase a little bit. We've got some subscribers and some comments on our videos. So thanks to you all for sticking it out this far.
Definitely. So, as we mentioned last time, do a little something different this time, and we're going to talk about how we would, quote, fix Disney's Hollywood Studios. So, I will say it's an awesome park. I enjoy it. I enjoy being there. But in our own opinions, what they should do to make it that much more. We've kind of set the ground rules that money's no option to an extent, right? You can't say like double the park and build Epic Universe right next to it. Like that's a little bit more than they're likely to do, and I doubt they're listening to this anyways. But
Yeah.
just tweaks and additions or subtractions and stuff like that we think would make sense. So
Cool.
that being said, we're going to let Mitch kick us off as you walk directly into Disney Hollywood Studios. Anything you're going to be doing in that initial space, Mitch?
First thing that kind of comes to my mind would be a little bit more street interaction. So back in the day, they had all the street performers, and I know that went away for a long time, and they slowly started bringing some of those back. I think you can kind of elaborate on that. Bring the aspect of old school Hollywood into that first area when you walk in. When you walk in, you got the gas station to the right. Nothing really happens with that. I know it's a guest services area.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the left-hand side, you have that little art and photo shop. I think you can get away with that. For as many people go in there that I've seen, I can probably count on, hands and toes. And in the years that I've been going, uh, for those of
Also
us who
known
don't
as
know, that's
fingers and
maybe
toes.
20 people.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think those two areas off the get, you can kind of reimagine and maybe bring in some more Hollywood, maybe movie sets for picture ops, or photo ops, and some street performers, something to catch you and get you into the vibe of it being Hollywood studios and built around movies. And I loved the actors, and they do the rope drop before the park opens, so they have the little scene there, and the comedy shows and street. I think there's more to that area that you can do without spending a ton of money, and just kind of reimagining the whole entrance to the park. Like when you get to Animal Kingdom, you walk in and you got wildlife all around you already. Magic
Hmm.
Kingdom, you got Main Street USA. Epcot, you got the big ball there in front of you, and I think that there's a lot more to be desired when you're walking into that park.
I agree with you 100%. One of my things was to take away that Photoshop on the left that has like posters for movies and stuff like that in it. Um, I would make that something like it would be a gift shop, but it would be like awards. Like that's where you get Oscars or Grammys or Tonys or just different awards that they do that. You sell that, but you make them famous Disney movies like Snow White, 19 whatever on it. Somebody might, I don't know, just a thought. But to your point, people only go in there as they're walking out of the park or they're waiting for someone else to finish shopping in that other section, just as you walk down that aisle.
Yeah, I mean, as you walk in, you have that shop. It's like you get ready to leave. It's got like sunglasses and waters and disposable cameras and stuff. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like their shopping in that sort of area is kind of an afterthought to the entire park.
Yeah,
Whereas you have
just
the
filling the
shops,
space.
right? You have the shops down Main Street that are, all connected, which is, obviously older and whatnot, but they're very themed areas. The movie theater, and on the left side you have the big clothing store with a lot of Disney tech and stuff in it.
Hmm.
Your phone cases and things that you can find throughout the park are all there. But as you have like a villain section, a small villain store, and on the right hand side, you have a Starbucks. So like that whole area can kind of, I think, be reconfigured and and done much better than it currently sits.
No, I agree. It's I'm a big fan of walking through the shops in all the parks, and that's the one park that unfortunately just doesn't do it for me
Yeah.
in that regard. So take us past right to the very center, and those of you who have been there in the past or know anything about Disney Hollywood Studios, it there used to be the Sorcerer's Mickey's hat, and that was the icon for the park. So you had Cinderella's Castle, you had Spaceship Earth, you have the Tree of Life at at Magic, Epcot, and Animal Kingdom respectively, and this used to be the Sorcerer's Mickey hat. They did away with that, obviously, no longer there. So the center section is pretty much just a wide open space. That's a walkway that takes you in through the um, to the different areas. You know, you can the spoke and wheel kind of situation. You can go into different areas. My thing would be to bring back an icon in that area. Make it. They use Tower of Terror now for most, if not all, of the imagery to do the park. Sometimes they do the Chinese Theater, which is where Mickey's Runaway Railway is now. But I think it's lacking an identity from a an icon perspective. Um, Now that they took Tower of Terror away from Disneyland and it's Guardians of the Galaxy over there, um, I'd like to see them put something. Even a Sorcerer's Mickey, I had no issue with that anyways.
Yeah.
Fantasia's a trademark of Disney, so I'd be happy to bring back the Sorcerer's hat. But you need that photo op and Chinese theater to me isn't it. It's not old Hollywood, obviously, but it's old Disney.
Right.
So,
Yeah, I agree with you. They need some sort of identity, and what came to my mind was a, like an old action, you know, like
hmm
a Take 32. Like
yeah,
one of those could be something. But yeah, it 100% lacks. It's just a voided space since that's been gone. And it's not like they even added in, a bunch of snack stands or, even like you got at Disney Springs, maybe some food trucks or anything like that. It's just, there's nothing.
yeah,
So yeah, I
yep.
totally agree with you there.
So as we walk in the park, Mitchell mentioned the Starbucks at the end on the right of the quote Main Street situation. And then you turn down, I think it's Sunset Boulevard or it could be Hollywood Boulevard. Main stretch is Hollywood, then it turns to Sunset. Either way, you end up with shops on the left and the right. You end up with the what would you call it? A market. It's where they have the oranges and the open picnic seating. And then if you continue straight, you'll go to Tower of Terror, and if you go left, you'll go to Rock and Roller Coaster, which is now being reimagined
Yeah.
into into Muppets. And I'm sorry, and you have Phantasmic on on the right once you pass all the shops.
Yeah.
So, do you have anything for that space, Mitch?
Yeah, I think it just needs like the shops again on that side. You have the rock and roll kind of shop there with some guitars and I think it's just it goes back to lacking theming. I think you can do so much more with that space. Even the food booths there, as much as I like to go grab a beer and a turkey leg
hmm
from those places over there, it's there's so much wasted space. Yeah, you need, that I like the outdoor seating and the picnic tables and stuff like that, but you can really redo that area to make it much nicer than it really is, and add some theming to it. One key thing that came to my mind, being Hollywood and the movies and not having this at other parks would, overlay with some of the different movies in like Tarzan. You can add an area um, and in the store sense, there's a lot of Disney movies out there that are big hits that there's no rides around. There's no lands that touch base on those. So I think this park could really have an identity with some of that stuff added into this park and make it more of a broader scheme of they used to have the Snow White ride. Well, that's gone. So yeah, Snow White's, more of a Magic Kingdom thing, but I think you can entail more of a broad range of Disney movies into this park. So I think this would be a good area for them to change into and overlay some movies and some theming and at the end of the day, it's not a huge area,
hmm
but I think that's it's a start. You could start there and kind of spread throughout the park to different areas and add in a touch of different movies and different themes.
Gotcha. Yeah, my comments on this space would be the entire left side of the street that is the shop or the quick service, but it's not
Yeah.
even quick service. It's kind of grab and go almost, for part of it. And then they do have the little stand back there, is to turn that into an actual quick service. Um, and even if it was specific to a certain theme, I I don't care what it is, because
Mm.
you have another quick service in ABC Commissary, you have a sit down, you have a quick service over at the near Star Tours and that area in Indiana Jones. But I think this is a good spot, even if it's a very limited menu, salads, because they have like the more healthier choice stuff in this space. Get Give me some grilled chicken salads, some chicken Caesars, you know, some veggie wraps. I don't care what it is, but give me a more defined quick service area as opposed to a couple of different shops that sell different things.
Yep.
Um, and then you can turn a lot of that, which is a lot of seating, but you'll notice if you walk through there anytime near lunch, you have people sitting on the curbs. You have people into the rock and roller coaster section sitting on the walls of the
Yep.
planters and stuff just because there's not enough space. Um, so I'd like to see that kind of reimagined a bit and get a dedicated quick service as opposed to a um, the quick windows. Even how they have under the Astro Orbiter in Magic Kingdom, it was at the launch pad, maybe
Yep.
might be called that, but something like that where it's again tight menu, but it's a defined area. So I mean I love what they're changing up Rock and Roller Coaster, which we talked about before, needed a facelift.
Ooh,
Bless you.
excuse me. Okay.
And Tower of Terror, I'm happy with. I'd like um, the gift shop to be a little bit bigger and
Yeah.
carry some more Tower of Terror specific stuff. Last time we were there, it's funny. My dad used to have or our dad used to have a Tower of Terror tank top that he wore
Maroon. Yeah.
yeah, and maroon exactly. And it was the Mickey with the shaking elevator kind of scene behind him, and they still have that shirt.
Yeah.
And
I don't think it wasn't originally a tank top, but the sleeves were cut off.
yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. um, but they still have that shirt, and that's got to be 25 years ago,
Yeah.
at least. So, um, yeah, I just some more stuff in there. I think would be cool.
Yeah. I have a placard, as many of you know or may not know, that I run a hotel. So I have a placard that my mom bought me. It says, "You may check in, but you'll never check out."
It's fair in
So I
your
have that on
hotel.
my desk at work. Yeah, that's what we've been going through lately. But anyways, but yeah, no, I agree. Tower Terror can stay. Like that's a classic, and an icon for the park. Aerosmith is actually visiting, um, Rock and Roller Coaster this weekend, before they end up closing.
Nice.
So that's actually going on while we have this episode. Um, I'm glad they're reimagining it. There's, the Muppets theme and not getting, they got rid of Muppets 3D, but they're also, reincorporating that into a different section of the park. So I think that's great. Not that the ride's going to change outside of some, props and stuff inside the roller coaster itself and the video, but I think that quick service for that area would work really well. There's a lot of
Nice.
space there. You can get rid of that little Disney Vacation Club spot.
The little hut. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
which again, never see anybody there.
They have them
Um,
everywhere though.
yeah.
They're
Well,
all
you could the plenty of room. Put it at the front of the park where that the poster shop
where the
is.
both shop is. Yeah, that makes
Yeah.
sense.
So, yeah, but I think that's fantastic, and you can even to roll off of that, make it a Phantasmic theme.
Hmm.
I think that'd be a really cool touch. A lot of kids growing up nowadays don't even know what that is. So, Fantasia, that is,
Fantasia. Yeah.
and so I think that'd be a really cool idea off of that.
Nice. Um, well, so you exit. So say you walked in, you went up the right side, you did Tower of Terror, you hit Rock and Roller Coaster, you walk back out, and then there's the Brown Derby, which is I'd call it a steakhouse, right? It's a more of a fine dining.
It's a signature restaurant. Yeah.
There you go.
As an ex-employee.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you would know.
Yeah.
Which I'm cool with that staying. I really like that restaurant. I've had the filet
Yeah.
there before.
Food's
Uh,
fantastic there.
and the theming is nice. It's
Yeah.
an old Hollywood. There's pictures on the wall, and it's of
And they're actual
old
real
Hollywood
pictures
actors and actors.
of old actors and stuff visiting Disney World
Yeah,
and stuff, which is a really cool touch.
yeah. So that
It's not.
one's spot on with what I want Disney Hollywood Studios to be.
Yeah.
And as you make that turn, you end up, we'll hit Runaway Railway later, but you end up in the Disney Junior section.
Animation Courtyard, which is what they call
Yes.
it now. Yeah.
Right. Which is funny because they don't do the stuff they used to do in that area, which was the animation.
Right. Yeah.
So, did you have anything for that space specifically?
Yeah, I thought it'd be a really cool touch to kind of bring in, you got the villain's land coming into Magic Kingdom. I thought a really cool touch would be like a villain's light version. You don't see that anywhere in any other parks. So, along with, like you said, you got Phantasmic there, and that's built on the villainous of, taking over and all that kind of stuff. So, it could blend well. Maybe you get a ride in there, or a ride similar to kind of, I don't want to say Little Mermaid, with the clamshells and stuff,
Oh
but
yeah.
an ongoing ride.
Mhm.
I think that would be good suited for that area. It doesn't got to be too big, but you also don't see a lot of character walkthroughs in Hollywood studios. I don't think there's not much of meet and greets and stuff with characters. So I think that could be a really good area where a meet and greets put in, kind of like how they have an Epcot where you can go into this area and meet Donald Duck and Fred and Goofy and stuff. Then you got Mickey over here and different sections that are sectioned off, but inside of a building, at least it is an Epcot. But I think that that's one thing that's lacking there is the meet and greets with the characters. So I think, a villains area, at least one ride and maybe a show or something like that could go into that spot.
Okay. So, were you saying then essentially get rid of Disney Junior out of that
Oh,
area then?
100%. Yeah.
Okay. So,
Yep.
yeah. So right now they have Vampirina and Doc McStuffins and those other Disney Junior characters where you do the meet and greet on the right, and then they have like the Disney Junior Playhouse, I think it
Yeah.
is, where it's like an interactive. The kids jump up and down and they dance and they do all that stuff with a stage show, with the Mystery Mouse tool, I think, right? So it's been a while since I've been in that one. Um, so
Now,
I'm fine.
sorry to interrupt real quick. Were you talking all the way up to like Toy Story Mania, that whole section, or you just that one courtyard there?
Just that one courtyard.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So as soon as you walk through that archway, just
Yeah.
where the Disney Junior stuff is,
Because I was
and
like,
they used to have the Star Wars
don't get
stuff
rid of
back.
Walt's. Yeah, don't get rid of
No,
Walt's
no, not no.
one man
That's
show.
staying
Yeah,
there. Yeah, one man's dream.
one man's dream.
No.
Yeah.
So what I would do, I'm fine with Disney Junior staying in that space, that right side. I'm cool with. The left side's always it's been a shop, I think, for the longest time. But they had the animation stuff in the back, like you'd walk through another entrance, and
Hmm.
that's now I could be wrong, but the last two times I was there was nothing back there. It was just closed,
Yeah.
and that's where I think they should lean heavier into behind the scenes, since they've gotten rid of both the backlot tour
Yeah.
and the great movie ride over the years, which were two of my favorites altogether. Whether it was nostalgia or not, I don't know. I thought the backlot tour is awesome with all the props and stuff.
Yep.
I think they could reimagine a backlot tour back there with classic animation and classic, um, you know, Disney movies essentially. So as you mentioned, maybe some of the stuff that's not incorporated in other ones, you could have exhibits on the stuff that made Hercules, or the stuff that made um, a good dinosaur, right? You go all the way through kind of the filmography, but different um, setups of even if it's just a walk-through museum kind of situation, like they have One Man's Dream. I'd be down to explore that and see the different parts and pieces that made it up, of all the different movies in the filmography. And then as they punch out more movies down the road, you have space to put another, 10 by 10 foot by 6 foot high cube and or rectangle in there with all the stuff from it. So I think that's some underutilized space. I don't know what they're doing with it now, to be completely honest with you, but that's what I would put in that area, back there. So you got all the kids that can see, they're there to see that, to have those interactions, have that, and they can, as you continue to walk through, they see Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, and they see Steamboat Willie, all the way up into the stuff that they know that's new to them, right? So that's what
Cool.
I would do
Yeah.
in that space. So we both mentioned One Man's Dream
Got
as
to keep it.
something that would stay. I agree with
Yeah.
you. let's kick over to Runway Railway. That section past where we're going to put the icon. I I know you're not a big fan of Runway Railway. I
Yeah.
remember you saying, what you say, Ratatouille-esque, I think you said. Um,
For sure. Yeah.
I like the ride. I like the Mickey Mouse shorts that that's kind of themed after that drawing type. Um, but I really think leave it there. Great. Give me another. I don't know where it goes. Maybe it goes um, in between rock and roll and what's it called? Haunted Man or not Haunted Mansion.
Tower
Uh,
Terror.
Tower of Terror. Maybe they put it back there, but give me a great movie ride again. Give
So I agree with you, and mine kind of goes off of that is that they turn it back into like a modern version of the Great Movie Ride, kind of crossed between what you're talking about animation. So you're going through it and you're seeing the growth of Disney itself
Disney
and the
animation.
movies
Hmm.
and that kind of stuff. And it can still be where the Great Movie Ride was, interactive with actors and stuff like that. You could still very well do that with certain types of movies and have some characters in there, and whether it's holograms, or holographics, or whatever, CGI, that kind of stuff, or if it's a real person. Uh, so I think that it could really turn into a combination of both of like what you said and the Great Movie Ride, and kind of reimagine that area and keep the flow. Like I think it's a good spot for a ride,
Hmm.
but I think the Chinese theater needs to disappear.
Yeah, I get you.
Reimagine the outside, and I don't know. I don't modernize. It's not the right word, but I think reimagine, if you will, the make it more of a movie set kind of thing.
I like the Disney through the ages kind of situation, right? That's I think that's a cool. You could I would vote for that over what I was talking about with the museum aspect. Like a ride that took you through the animation and all the stuff around you when you first get on is like the old style animation,
Hmm.
you know, videos and whatnot. And then as you go, it changes. That'd be cool. If they could, especially if they could put a story to it, like a
Yeah,
character, like a brand new character, like a Figment, but not Figment, is like your host or your guide. And then,
narrating and stuff. Yeah,
yeah, I think that'd be cool. Um, okay. So let's let's split off from that spoke and wheel. They have the Frozen sing along and the big theater there. My kids love it. Um, I'm fine with we do it every time we're there, and I'm fine with doing it. It's the jokes that people make. I mean the hosts, the
yeah.
story,
I think it's a great show.
they
Yeah,
do a great job. So I'm cool keeping that.
and it's
Um,
very it's not totally childish. It's got some adult comments in there that the kids won't understand or get,
yeah,
but makes the adults keep their attention. Yeah, I think it's a good show.
yeah. And then to the left of that, I guess, is the water with what is it, Nessie
The
or
old
Bessie?
dinosaur there.
It's got
Yeah,
the dinosaur's got a name, and they
yeah.
decorate that all for Christmas, which is kind of cool. But you have 50s prime time, and then what is the name of the restaurant right there? It's Character Dining.
Hollywood and Vine,
Yeah, there you go. So I ate
which
at Hollywood and Vine once. I could leave it.
yeah, I think the character at the time when I was there last was Handy Manny.
Mm,
So uh,
Bob
again,
Gelder knockoff.
k- yeah, Spanish version. It could go in a different direction, and I feel like it's diner esque the outside, and then
Yeah.
and that's what it's meant to look like. I ate there once, and I wasn't impressed with any of the food.
Hmm.
And the characters were, it's very very childish. So I think that can be redone in a different way. Um, and something I thought about that was kind of like turn it into like a almost a speakeasy. Um,
So like an
and
adult
you could, yeah,
place.
like an adult area. And you can do, and they're not very, I guess, Disney esque, but but they are old movies. The Godfather, Scarface, Al Capone. That kind of,
The old mobster
um,
movies.
yeah, like that could be a whole theme around it, and I think that could be a really cool concept. And you got to have not like a secret password to get in, but it's a hidden entrance, quote unquote. I think that'd be a really cool theming for it, and that's kind of making its way as a an up and coming trend in the U.S. And I know we have a couple that have popped up in my area here in central New York and Syracuse. So I think that'd be a really cool touch, something that's strictly for adults.
No, I don't mind that. I for mine, I had that one changing, but it was in the vein of Disney Channel original movies.
Some Johnny
Um,
Tsunami,
maybe Johnny shows up. I
yeah,
was thinking along the lines of like Descendants and High School Musical
and
and
zombies and yeah,
Zombies and all those kind of things. So the characters you have are, ones that resemble characters from those movies. And you can still throw in, Mickey or Donald or Goofy with like you said the marker, like
yeah,
the scene one, take three. You could do that style, that costume on a main character too. So you still get the one of the classics with the
yeah,
newer stuff. Um, so you could redo that to match whatever Disney Channel or like a movie set kind of thing. Like there's different scenes in the restaurant that you could be. It doesn't have to be from any specific movie, but like a park and a school and a gym. I don't know. You'd have
yeah,
to figure it out. But I think I think that one couldn't be too bad. And then they're all face actors too, except for the classic whatever you're
yeah.
bringing in. So um,
50s prime time I wouldn't touch.
no,
The only comment I got to say about that is that I wish they went back to. I feel as though years ago they were a little bit more intense than they are now.
a
And I
little
don't
more
know if
bought in.
that's a little bit more softness that of people getting offended or not understanding the theming or whatever the case may be. I think they needed to go back to being a little bit more assertive
Mhm.
and, like I said, bought in is a good way to put it.
Yeah.
Because there's times where it's like your server or waitress is awesome, and
Hmm.
and they're really playing the part, and they're really, no elbows on the tables. Get your walkie talkies, put your walkie talkies away. What color is the soap in the bathroom? As we, my grandma in years past. Um, and then there's people who are just like, oh, okay, welcome to 50s prime time. This is our menu. Here's your service. Have a great day.
Right.
So
No, I get you. And I think it obviously depends on the server at how much they're willing to go into it. I think the bigger transition in that space is how many people can you get in and out of the door? Because
mm,
so many reservations, so many people. How fast can you turn the tables? And if you're doing all the extra stuff all the time, I got to imagine that kills your ability to flip a table.
fair enough.
Right.
Yeah,
Or if somebody, but then again, if somebody tells you, because you give them the option. I mean, when we were there last time, the our cousin that did it, he came out of the gate with, I can do this as much or as little as you want, you know kind of tell me what type of experience
comfort
you're looking
level.
for.
Yeah,
And we said, just give us the middle of the road, right? Give the kids a little bit of a hard time, but we're chilling.
yeah,
So, and he was good about it. He made a bunch of jokes, and he was really engaged with it, but he wasn't, I'll say, strict. He
yeah,
wasn't the mean uncle, so to speak. So,
yeah.
um,
I mean, Uncle Fran at one point, I think, almost had a meltdown because he didn't eat his green beans and got called out for it. And was like, put his foot down. I refused, not doing it. I got yeah.
yeah,
Uh, so yeah. I mean, the server went right along with it and pushed as far as he could until 6'4" Uncle Fran's not going to say a word,
yeah,
or
nothing's
the
wrong.
server's not going to say a word to him. So
Right, right.
yeah. But
Um,
moving on.
yeah, so you walk out of 50s and the Indiana Jones spectacular,
Yes.
the stunt show is
Yeah.
over there. I understand it's owned by Disney, obviously. I couldn't care less about
Needs
that
to
show.
go. Needs to go. It is. I think 20, 30 years past. It's it's viewpoint
Mhm.
viewership. Even with the remakes over the last 5-10 years or whenever Harrison Ford put all his new movies, it needs to go.
Yeah.
Um, Pretty cheesy. And just recently they had the boulder, almost crush a guy.
Yeah.
So I think that needs to be either removed completely or turned into some. I do think they need a show there or
Mhm.
another show in the park outside of Fantasmic. Um, but I think that's something that needs to change entirely.
Yeah, there's a lot of space back there because when they pull that initial thing back, they have the helicopter part, no, or I'm sorry, not
Yeah,
helicopter, the airplane part.
plane. Yeah,
So there's some space. To be frank, I don't know what I put there. I was trying to think earlier what live action Disney franchise could go back there, and I couldn't. That's not. I couldn't think of one that wasn't represented somewhere else in one of the other parks. Like, yeah, I frankly I don't know. but
Yeah.
but I could see a new, just something new in that space. Disney doesn't have like the Harry Potter or the big franchise in terms of, again, that's not represented somewhere else. They have Toy Story, they
Mhm.
have a bunch of other ones that are sequels and stuff. But you think of a longevity live action, I can't think of one personally that would be, and I'm sure I'm missing something, but that would fill that space from a live action point of view. So,
Yeah.
but I could toss it. I couldn't care less.
I mean, there's not even a gift shop too. There's two little stands outside and you come out. So that's how much of
You
an
buy
afterthought
hats,
at this point. Hats and fake guns, which
right?
I don't even know if they sell anymore either. But
So, um, so there's really two big sections left of the park, right? If unless I missed anything else, there's the Toy Story area, Toy Story Land, and there's Star Wars, Galaxy's Edge.
yeah, what
Because
and remind me, where did Lights Motors Action? I mean, you got the streets and everything back
that's
there as
gone
well.
as part of Galaxy's Edge
That's completely
and
gone.
Toy
Yeah.
Story. It's kind of part and
Okay.
parcel. It's all in the
Yeah.
back. That's
Well,
all that stuff's gone.
to kind of jump on that train is that I wish they never got rid of the Osborne lights.
Agreed. Thousand
And I
percent.
brought this up in one of the previous episodes when we talked Hollywood Studios. That could be something that they litter, the main drag with and down Hollywood and Sunset Boulevard. Bring it back. Like that is one of the most, especially being down there and working down there in the wintertime, that is one of the most spectacular Christmas lights I've ever seen in my entire life.
They called it spectacular too, so that's crazy.
Yeah, right, right. Uh, 100%. I think that's something that needs to come back.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. We talked about that previously, and yeah, and maybe in one of the reimagined spaces they could do it, or they could go crazy down the center section because there is no icon. They could put up stuff to showcase it. But I mean, the old um, fake skylines I thought were cool in
Yeah.
that area. Now there wasn't enough like shopping and
Like
stuff back
they
there.
weren't real stores and storefronts, but
Yeah, it
yeah.
was all just fake storefronts. I wish that they were real storefronts to an extent. Now I like that they added the brewery
Yeah.
right in front of Galaxy's Edge there. Like I like they added some of the stuff, and now they've closed Pizza Rizzo's, which was the old
Yeah.
Pizza Planet,
Mama
Mama
Melrose.
Melrose. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
all gone, and they'll get redone as they redo that whole space into whatever they're going to turn it into. But let's talk Toy Story, the Toy Story space, which is some Incredibles and on the front, the old entrance to Toy Story Mania, the front side. You walk by the Joffreys, and there's the Incredibles area, and then you walk back into Toy Story Mania, Slinky Dog, or Toy Story Land, Slinky Dog, Toy Story Mania, the spinning alien saucers.
Yeah, I think aesthetically the place looks awesome. Like it's
Mhm.
really, really cool. Woody's Roundup
Yeah,
is the barbecue place there.
mhm.
Food was outstanding. Atmosphere, service, everything was great. Slinky Dog, great ride. I just think they're missing something adventurous in that area, per se. Like, I don't know if it's a big ride or I think they could have done more. I think, you walk through the land and this kind of falls in the same thing for me as well as, in Star Wars, fantastic, amazing space. You have two rides.
Mhm.
You know, I think that area also can add another ride, whether it doesn't have to be a big to do ride, but I think there's gonna be something that's more entailed where it's a continuous, same thing with like, the people mover kind of thing. There could be a ride that's a continuous, um,
Continuous
as they
move.
say, people eater, where the line, it pulls from other parts of the park and kind of just like I
Yeah,
said,
line
pushes in
constant
and
move.
out.
Right.
Yeah. So
Uh, so in I'm going to speak specifically to Toy Story Land. I think they could add another ride there. Now, I'll talk logistics. I don't know. I'll say where necessarily. I don't know what butts up against other things, right? But when you first walk down that long stretch where people are lined up for Slinky Dog in the
Hmm.
morning, on the right side somewhere, again, it backs up in other things, but figure it out. Uh, I do it underground. I don't care. I think a ride, not the same as Rise of the Resistance, like, but the new age cart ride where you can go four people
Yeah.
across, 4 rows or whatever,
Take you through
and
Andy's room.
take do a tour of Andy's room, and then do the RC car from Toy Story
Mm,
1.
yeah,
You look up
that'd be
and
really
Buzz and
cool.
Woody are flying above your head on the rocket. You're going
Yeah.
under the Pizza Planet car, like, or the moving truck. Like, do something like that. I think would be a really cool ride, and you can have other characters from the other Toy Stories in the part of it. You know what I mean? As different scenes in the
Yeah.
space. But I think that'd be a cool ride to add to that space, and then it would, to me, it would round out the Toy Story land. Because like you said, it has three. I think it could use another one. And Disney Hollywood Studios does not have that many rides
Right.
overall. So I would do that. And I'm glad the trees are growing in to a to a degree, because that area when they first started it, I think we were there the first year it opened. I don't know if it was a family trip or it's just my family, but you stand out in those lines and you just cook
Hmm.
um, in those areas. So, but yeah, that's I would add a ride like that um, in the Toy Story land. So
Um,
Galaxy's Edge, what would you do over there?
as I said, I think it just needs one more ride. I love the atmosphere. I love the scavenger hunt or the bounties and the blue milk and the bars. I think it's a fantastic design. The interactions with the stormtroopers and all that stuff. They did a really really good job, and they spend a lot of attention to detail on that area.
Hmm.
I just think it's missing a like, and like I said, it doesn't need to be a spectacular, over the top, Smuggler's Run or Rise of the Resistance ride, but it's missing something. It needs a third space or a third attraction, or it's a show or something along those lines. Because you have all that stuff, and then you have building the lightsabers, but and the droids. I think at the end of the day, like, I don't know how long those are going to be able to last, because I think if I remember correctly, the old build a lightsaber thing lasted for a couple of years and then stopped.
Hmm.
And it was prior to them even starting to build the whole Star Wars land. So I think that's, I don't know how long those will go on for, because at the end of the day, Star Wars movies are done, right? So, per se, who knows?
Yeah, who knows?
Um, but yeah, I just think it needs another ride. I don't know if it's detail, but it needs something.
Give me pod racers. Give
Yeah,
me
I think that'd be fun. That's pretty sweet. They're
give me a
actually coming
pod
out. They
racing
launched
ride.
a new video game. That's Star Wars, the Pod Racers. That's
Oh,
coming
did
out.
they? I
I
didn't know
think in
that.
early fall this year. So
Well, yeah, give me that. Give me a ride in Galaxy's Edge that is like that, or give me a an X-wing fighter blowing up the Death Star kind of situation.
and separate from Star Tours, the way that's set up, I think it could be really done really well if it was like the way Flights of Passage is done. You have
Yeah.
your individual seat, you
Hmm.
have your glasses, you're up and down, you're moving around. Yeah.
Yep. I agree with you 100%. Even I wouldn't say another roller coaster because there's two in Slinky and Rock and Roll,
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, I I, I don't know how much you want to lean into screen rides as a whole, but it's the way to go right now. I think the technology is just so yeah. Give me a Flights of Passage style situation um, with pod racers or something like that, or like I said, you're flying in space. Um, because in Smuggler's Run you fly, but it's controlled by whoever's in those front two seats. And
Hmm.
I have had some very bumpy interactions from people who don't know how to use the. I mean, James flew us the one time, So we were bouncing every which way. Um, so get give me one of those two things, and I'd be ecstatic. Like, just let's destroy the Death Star, right? That'd be a cool
Yeah.
situation to be in. Um, but and also I was thinking, they have now. Granted, it's not a very good restaurant, Coral Reef. I don't know if you've ever eaten there in Epcot.
Yeah. I've been there plenty of times.
Yeah, not the best. Give me a
Food
full
food
on.
wise, I like the atmosphere.
Yeah, atmosphere is awesome. The food's not great. Give me a full on sit down restaurant in, not, doesn't that be fine dining, obviously, but give me that in Galaxy's Edge with, you just had that whole um, hotel situation with Star Wars that didn't work out.
Yeah.
You can't tell me there's not enough stuff, I'll say left over, that you can't build a restaurant theming wise to make it something on Endor. Give me something from even the Empire's side of the house,
Mhm.
or like Princess Leia, the Gungans, Naboo. Like, do something with that. Give me something like that, but make it a full on sit down instead of a quick service. And I think that would tighten up that space a lot, because there's some quick service stuff back there. You get the Ronto wraps in the morning and whatever. Um, and we'll talk about Animal Kingdom down the road. I think that's what's missing from Pandora as well, is is a sit down food experience. But
Yeah.
I don't mean quick service. I mean, table
Yeah, because
dining,
they got
real
that.
service.
Yeah.
So I think that would be a nice addition, because it is by far the best themed from top to bottom space, I think, in Disney. Avatar is
Hmm.
probably a close second. Also, two of the newer
Right.
ones.
Two different sections. Yeah.
But I mean, having the Millennium Falcon, having the X-wing, all the stuff in that space is just so well put together. They have the characters that walk through. Kylo Ren comes through. What was the silver stormtrooper's name? Oh,
Um,
man, I can't think of it. It's the girl who plays Brianna Tarth. She was that person. I can't think of it now off the top of my head. But anyways, they come through, they walk through. So there's always something. The droids drive through. There's always something going on in that space, which is really cool. But I'd love one more ride, and a full on restaurant. So
before we kind of wrap this up, as a park as a whole, and this just came to me, I think a replacement for Indiana Jones could be Marvel. Whether it's Spider-Man or something.
I like that.
Whether it's a Marvel Academy, per se, like training new
Like they have at
superheroes or
Disneyland.
something like that.
Hmm.
Yeah, just kind of some kind of live action show where you can still dress up as Thor, you can still dress up as Iron Man and that kind of stuff, and have a Battle of New York or something along those lines. I think that'd be pretty cool. Substitute for that show if you're going to stick with a show, because at Disney World there's no Marvel anywhere. Unfortunately, Universal still has that, that hold on that stuff, but I don't know what the agreement is and all that. Not to dive into that too much,
I
but
think Marvel has just the MCU, or excuse me, Disney has the MCU, so they can lean into that. They have it out west. I don't, and they're still Universal out west. So I don't know. That's
yeah.
that's a good idea though. I like that a lot. Make that an
Um,
Avengers space.
yeah. And then the other thing is, I would really love to see, and this doesn't have to be Hollywood specific, but I think as we're talking about this, it has the most potential. Would be a Hercules roller coaster. I've talked about this for a long time. That Hercules being, I think it's one of the best Disney classic movies. Um, it could be an indoor coaster, kind of how more on the Guardians of Galaxy side than as opposed to
Space Mountain.
Space Mountain or Rock and Roller Coaster, but you're fighting all the Hydra, and you're going through the movie in that sense, and fighting Hades and Cerberus, um, in a fast way. But I think it doesn't have to be a roller coaster, but it could be some kind of high flying big thrill attraction,
Mhm.
that could be shaped around Hercules.
That's cool. I like that.
Yeah.
I'd love to see the animation more. what's the right way to say this? More Disney themed rides. That sounds stupid to say because they're all Disney themed, I guess.
No, but actually, what is Disney as opposed to Disney movies and stuff? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's cool. I like that. I like both of those ideas. And I don't know that we'll ever get a Hercules ride. Just knowing,
How far back it is, or at
yeah,
this
and
point.
yeah, where would it
Yeah.
go at this point too? But I would not be averse. I Same thing with a Tarzan ride. I'd be fine
Yeah.
with Tarzan swinging through the jungle type of
Yeah,
situation,
like
even
when
if a
he's
kid's
riding
ride.
on the vines and stuff and going around, and like
Yeah,
that's
even
really
as
cool.
a kid's roller coaster, like a
Yeah.
Barnstormer, but do put that in Animal Kingdom. Give me
Hmm.
Tarzan. We'll talk about that another time, but give me that. So,
And I think as you get, it's more modernized. You got Inside Out, which is a huge, money maker,
number one movie. Yeah.
and Zootopia. I think that's a whole other line, which is going to Animal Kingdom, which I think is a great gig and great spot for him. But that, as like I said, as we talked about Animal Kingdom in the future, that could be a whole nother spot than attraction that can come from that. So
Mm. So yeah, I mean that's our run through. I think generally we want them to lean more into the areas they have and just continue to build it up. Um, but really, that front section needs to lean more old Hollywood. I
yeah,
agree. I didn't say it earlier, but I agree with the street performers and getting those. I think they died during COVID or just there before. And I know they do still do the car every once in a while, drives around and they do some stuff. But there was comedians, there was jugglers, there was all kinds of stuff you'd see in legitimately old Hollywood, right?
yeah.
General street performers, mimes, things like that. So, anyways,
And,
I think it was
and
a good one.
bring back the Honey I Shrunk the Audience playground.
Yeah, that's a movie that probably didn't age all that
Yeah,
well.
it did not age well. Yeah.
Yeah, but
So
the playground was awesome. So,
yeah,
all right. Well, that wraps it up for us today. I enjoyed that. That was a
yeah.
good
One of
run
our
through.
longer episodes too. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. So, anyways, we thank you for sticking around. Do us a favor, like, comment, subscribe to the video. Uh, we appreciate any engagement you can give us and any shares you throw out there. So, thank you much, and we'll see
Yeah.
you next time.
Until then.